Well, wagwan everyone, and welcome to Film Shrapnel, your one-stop spot for everything movies. I'm Tobias, this is Craig. Today we're talking about Cannibal Holocaust. Oh, fuck, Craig, I hate this film.
Yeah, this film is a very interesting film.
Oh,
Man,
it's
I've been
hard.
thinking about watching this for a really long time. Uh, yeah. I mean, do you know how it opens is so pleasant as well? It's like, oh,
With the
maybe it's not
music.
so bad. Yeah, and it's just the opening, these shots of like the forest, and then yeah, when you get into it, there is some. You see why it's was banned for a
Yeah,
super long time.
you can definitely see why this is banned. And
Yeah.
for the longest time of the film, when I'm watching it, because the first hour it isn't in documentary style. And for the first hour, I was like, oh, maybe have got a bit of the Mandela effect. And I thought the whole thing was done as a documentary. I remember watching it, remembering it as a documentary. So for the first hour of this film, I was like, I don't remember any of this. So uh, the first hour was it was nice to watch it from like a brand new lens almost, because I have seen it before and I just hadn't remembered the beginning. So it was enough, but then I had remembered all the other bits, and yeah, I remember them well, and there's a reason for that, because it imprints on your psyche forever.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Like it's an interesting film because like before getting into the plot, like it's okay, I will say first of all it's smarter than I was thinking it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be
Yeah,
straight up smut. The whole thing would just be like
no,
basically a snuff film. But there
it's
is a
actually
plot.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually quite well done and it does try to raise a point, but its point actually is quite convoluted and it kind of contradicts itself in what it's trying to say
Well,
because of the nature of what they did, basically.
I mean, is it a contradiction, or is it not like? Because obviously it's talking about violence and media, the thirst for like the sort of uh, still this sort of Colosseum mentality we have, like going to watch action films and stuff. So like there's a taste for violence, um, and I suppose it's a comment on that. It's a comment on how violent the innate being of humanity is, both like, because again the film does pose the question, who are the real savages in the situation, um, and the thing is, by the time you get to the end of it, I think you're siding more with the natives than anyone else, if I'm perfectly honest. uh,
Yeah, yeah.
the shit that
It's
goes
definitely
down, but I'm getting,
designed to be like that.
yeah, so I mean I am getting ahead of myself, but yeah, uh, I as so yeah, we're obviously tiptoeing around it, but there are real animal deaths in this, and
Yeah.
I feel like um, it's as much as that's the contradiction, but is it not more like it it's taking it to such an extreme that it's like you have to respond to this. I don't know if I would call it a
Mm,
contradiction. I think it's very considered. It's still not a choice I would have made. Killing an animal or numerous animals on screen. Um, it's not a choice I would have took, but I can see the artistic merit in the choice. It's just I don't think it's worth an animal's life. So those bits are really uncomfortable for me to watch, because we do just see the butchering of, what was it? The first thing's a muskrat. We see a
hmm.
muskrat getting like stabbed in the throat. We see a snake getting chopped in half, and obviously
Spider.
the spider, and then the big one, obviously the turtle,
Man,
which
the
is,
turtle screwed me up so much.
it's brutal, isn't it? It's horrible.
You, you know what's really messed up about that as well, for me especially? I have a pet turtle. And
Oh, you're
literally, like,
joking.
I watched this film last night, and so yesterday I was literally playing with the turtle all day. I was like cleaning his tank, and like I like to let him walk around and everything. So I was just like lying down next to him, letting him explore and everything. And like he's like resting up against me, trying to climb me. He's really nice and sweet. And then like in the evening, I'm like watching a fucking turtle being like massacred. It was, yeah, that was really a bit too much for me. That was
It's
very
really brutal.
tough.
My best friend isn't a turtle, but I can see how horrifying it would be for you. It's amplified for you. It's pretty awful, I think, for everyone. In all fairness, but again, we are like skipping so much of the film. But yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about the sexual violence at all yet.
Oh fuck! Just everything. This whole movie is like, yeah, you can definitely see why this was banned. Well, speaking of that, the bit at the beginning where they like there's like a punishment for adultery, and I don't know how graphic we can be in our description of it, but like she's tied up, she's sexually assaulted with like a rock, and then there's like some spiky stuff in a ball of mud that they do something with, and yeah, and that's just like by the end of the film that seems pretty tame. In all fairness, like, but it's shocking as fuck. Like from the get go, it's really really graphic.
Yeah. Yeah, and they just basically they have no choice but to basically watch it so they can find the tribe. And this isn't even the proper violent tribe. This is like a more
One next
this is
door.
not a cannibalistic tribe.
Yeah.
Maybe we should explain the plot a little bit. So should I go ahead and give us a little
Go on,
rundown then?
Go on.
So basically, we have like a team of filmmakers who are going to a tribe in South America, and they are basically going to film some cannibalistic tribes. There are two. There's a swamp tribe and there's a tree tribe, and they've been like fighting each other for years and eating each other, basically hunting each other is how they worded it. And yeah, they go there and they disappear, and we don't know what happened to them. And so one researcher guy, I forgot his name, he gets sent there to try and recover them, to find them. They say it's a research team, but it's only 3 guys, which is a bit silly, I think.
Yeah,
Probably would have had more guys with them.
And to be fair, only one of them is the researcher. The other 2 are like just, guys who know how to handle themselves in the jungle. Like they're not really part of the team. They're sort of like freelance, aren't they?
Yeah. And so they basically
because they're doing cocaine in the jungle.
Yeah. Yeah, giving one of the native guys cocaine, so he's a bit more easy to work with.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, they go in the jungle and they manage to find the cannibalistic tribes, and they manage to recover the footage. This is the long and short of it. A lot of stuff actually happens in between, but I'm just giving you the straight and narrow view of it. And then basically they go back to New York and they start watching the footage, and you kind of start to see, as you mentioned earlier, Tobias, that really the cannibal guys are not like the real bad guys. Really, the filmmakers kind of like did a lot of shit that they shouldn't have been doing, and probably caused their own death, and like they're the ones to be blamed. And there's like a kind of debate.
I feel like by the end of it, you're like, they got what they deserved. But then, does anyone deserve that?
Well, I don't know, man. I think they were pretty kind of shitty people. Bear in mind, so basically, there's a whole argument about like, what should we do with this footage? We can't put it on TV. Like the researcher guys, like, this is just messed up. I've watched all of it. It's disgusting. But the executives are like, yeah, but it's hard hitting. It's sensational. And there's even a quote that I remember I wrote down that she said, where was it? People want sensationalism. The more you rape their senses, the happier they are. Yeah. And I was also thinking about the fact that, like, so that's the mindset of the people with the money that want you to go out and film. So who are they going to film? Who are they going to hire to film? They're going to film they're going to hire people that have that same mentality, and that's the mentality that these filmmakers have. Let's go there, fuck shit up. Let's obviously they have no, like, for the animals they don't give a shit. They'll cut them up, and they're not beyond murdering people who they see as less human than themselves. So yeah, that's pretty fucked up. But it is smart.
Well, this is the thing, that you can tell that it's pretty considered the whole way through. You know, like they're definitely saying a lot, but you know, it's just so difficult to sit through. Like, I mean, certainly the second half, very difficult to sit through. I think the first half, it's not as bad, nowhere near as bad, but it's still got its moments. But yeah, I don't know. I would definitely not watching it again.
No.
It might be good. Like, I'll save my rating for the end, but like, I won't be watching this again. But yeah, I would have to say, what year was it again?
1980.
1980. Gore effects still hold up in some scenes. Like the bit where there's one bit towards the end where someone gets hacked up with an axe, and like the shot just lingers on it. And you really get to see it just does look like someone getting chopped up with an axe.
But
it's
you
really
do know there are also accusations that there might have been real murder on this film as well.
Yes, of course, but no, of course not.
I don't think they murdered anybody. I don't think that really happened. But for example, there's that one bit with the pike that's stuck through a woman, and there's some people think this might have been a real thing. Like, they were accused in Italy of maybe committing murder in the Amazon, which is nuts.
I mean, it is a very well done effect. It looks like what it's meant to look like.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go too deep into the details because it's horrible. But no, I don't think it's real. I
Do you want to know some... yeah, I fucking hope I didn't see dead people for entertainment. You want some trivia?
Go on then, here we go.
I couldn't help. I've been reading about it a lot because it's a crazy film. So apparently Sergio Leone watched this movie and he liked it, and he sent a letter to the director. I forgot his name. Also an Italian guy. This is an Italian movie. Saying like, this is a great film, but like, I don't know how you're gonna get away with this. Like, you're gonna get in some trouble for this fucking thing. Also, what surprised me, so the budget of this movie was $100,000.
Whoa!
And actually, it was actually profitable. And you know where it was most profitable? It seems Japan. In Japan, this movie made $21 million.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, in Europe, a lot of people, I don't know if it was ever banned later in Japan, but yeah, a lot of Europe was banned this movie. They also got charged with obscenity in Italy as well. But apparently also there was a Middle Eastern version where they edited all the nudity out so they could release it in the Middle East as well. And yeah, interesting. I don't know. I had more trivia somewhere.
There is a lot of nudity. Like, I've got a note somewhere here, but like, there's a lot of dick in this movie.
There is a lot of dick, yeah.
Like, usually when we see like movies with nudity, it's usually not male nudity. Like, it's rare that we get male nudity. Female nudity, a lot more common. This film, I think there's way more male nudity.
It might be. I mean, now I'm thinking about that specific scene where our main character bathes in the river naked to try to be like the natives. And it's a really silly scene. It's really so so ridiculous. And literally all these women come running up to him naked, like basically kind of wrestling with him. And there's one woman who actually like literally grabs his dick and starts flapping it around and shit.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Why? There was no need for that. That didn't need to happen. I don't know. That
And then
it didn't really.
because then he follows them, but it's like they sort of lead him away. But then when he catches up to them, they look all distressed, and they are like doing something, some kind of chant or ritual. I'm not sure, to the like skeletal bodies of the previous film crew, and that's when he discovered. Like how brutal it was, how they were murdered by this tribe.
Yeah. And it's so insane as well. Like the fact that so in the second act, it's mostly it's found footage. It's arguably one of the first found footage movies. They just keep recording, even though their friends are just being massacred. There's even like their guide gets killed pretty early on when they go into the wild because he gets bitten by a snake, so they have to cut off his leg, and then he just dies. And there's like almost no thought to it. The fact this guy is now dead, and you're by yourselves, and this was a human being.
Yeah. And there's another bit where one of their friends gets like injured, so don't they shoot him? And then the girl's like, "Oh, don't! You can't do it. He's still alive." He's like, "Well, he's dead anyway." And they shoot him to like cause a to I don't know. I forget now exactly.
The blondie head guy.
Yeah, the blonde dude.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And you know
I
what?
would say all of their friendship is really odd. Like I find it strange that you could be in a group of friends and two of you are dating, but all of you can hang out in a room naked. I feel like that's a bit odd. Or is that just the 70s?
I think it's kind of them, yeah. I think it's kind of them. I did find them a bit funny at the beginning. I couldn't like when the film started and we start off with this group of filmmakers. I couldn't take them seriously.
But they're likable.
But they're kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Guys, and then but obviously they turn out to be absolute psychopaths.
Oh,
but
there was one thing from the first part of the film that I wrote down here. How do you recognise someone's teeth?
That's a good question. Like, unless you're a dental expert, or like you literally have.
He literally looks in the mouth and he's like, "Yeah, I recognise these teeth. I know this man." It's like, what? How do you do that? That's mental.
Well, maybe if he had like gold teeth or something like that, like something really specific, I get it. But if you have a perfectly normal set of teeth, you can't differentiate that at all. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I noticed that they refer to the area as the Green Inferno, and I have seen a movie. I think it was, who was it who directed it? I think like Eli Roth or something, but called Green Inferno, and it was very similar. It was very similar to Cannibal Holocaust.
Well, this film I would say is like ripe for remaking. Like if you just made it without killing animals and shit, I think it would still go. It would still pass. I think really for a lot of people, it's the animal killing that really like puts it off. Like, because I think like 44 years have passed since this film came out, and people, I don't know, are more. I mean, sexual assault stuff is a bit rough, but like I guess I'm fine with most gore. I mean, it's not very pleasant. But yeah, the animal killing is what really puts it, okay, this is not something that normal people should watch because of that.
Generally speaking, like I'm okay with gore, but I think this film, it does just amp it up to another level where it's just hard to watch. Like it's a really upsetting film. Like it, yeah, it's
Mm.
really difficult to watch. I'll tell you this, Craig. I watched it on my phone, and you'll never guess how I watched it on my phone. And I can't believe it
How?
either. It's on fucking YouTube in full.
Really?
Yeah, uncut. I have absolutely no idea how this film has been allowed to be uncut in full on YouTube. I just typed it in on the off chance, and it came up.
Well, I'm surprised. What was the runtime of it?
Was it like an hour 40?
Hour 40. Okay, so it's. I think the version I watched was about an hour 36 or something like that. And
Yeah, that
what
sounds
I'm
about
actually
right.
I'm curious because like so we didn't mention this at the beginning, but we're kind of doing like a video nasty season now. we
So,
so we're doing other films like this that have basically been banned for being too violent, too sexual, too whatever. And yeah, I do wonder as we go into this season how often we will actually find the full length version because a lot of these have been edited down. I think that this one, Cannibal Holocaust, I did read somewhere, I think that it was released in the UK like 2 years later, and I think like about 4 minutes have been removed. So now I'm wondering if I've watched like the UK version and you've watched an uncut version, so you might have got more
no,
violence than I even got.
to be fair, I just looked it up now just to clarify the video that I watched. It's 1 hour 36.
Ah, okay. So maybe we probably watched the same version then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just can't
But
believe
yeah,
it's on YouTube. I just can't
yeah,
believe it.
that's insane. But there was one time, off topic a little bit, you once found the Deadpool, was it the Deadpool movie? Deadpool 3.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, Deadpool and
Yeah.
Wolverine. Like, I found it on YouTube. It just came up because I like sometimes I'll just type in full movie into YouTube and see if they've got anything. Every now and again, like you'll find like a hidden gem. More often than not, like much older films, they're just there. Like you can find them there. I think I watched Saturn 3 on YouTube as well when we did Saturn 3.
Yeah,
Um,
I also watched that on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. So YouTube's got loads, and I often go down a rabbit hole of trying to find movies on there. And it just came up as a recommended video. And I was like, well, that can't be the whole film. Or it will be Deadpool 1, and it just says it's Deadpool 3. And then I clicked it, and it was a good quality Deadpool 3 on YouTube while it was in the cinema. So I did what anyone would do. I sent it to everyone in my address book. And I was like, hey, you don't have to spend money to go watch it. It's on YouTube. But I want to say within like 6 hours after I'd watched it and sent it to loads of people, the link stopped working. It became broken.
Ah,
So I think only 1 or 2 people that I got it out to ended up actually watching it. Everyone else missed
um,
out.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, how long did that last before it was taken down? Yeah, that's really crazy. Really crazy.
And to be fair, Deadpool and Wolverine also incredibly violent, but it's fun violent.
Yeah,
This is
this is
like
just disturbing
visceral.
violent.
Yeah, this is visceral, disturbing violence, and you know, and I have got the note here, but I feel like as much as I hate to say it, but the real life killings of these animals really help sell all the human violence as well. Like I feel like, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not saying we should have done it. They should have done it, but I cannot deny the power of it. That it just sells everything else in this film to feeling really real.
Yeah. I'm also thinking about the fact that when the white guys are killing animals, they're doing it for no real reason. They shoot a pig for no reason. They cut up a turtle because I don't know why the fuck they even cut it up, but it just like spitting out its fucking organs. It's disgusting.
Yeah, but
And
they're eating
like,
it.
but
They're gonna eat it. They're gonna eat it.
did they eat it? I
Yeah,
don't know. They seem to be kind of enjoying it a bit too much.
yeah, sure.
But
But
still,
they did eat the turtle. They did eat. They didn't eat the pig. the baby
Yeah, they
pig.
didn't
And
eat the pig.
I think they did just shoot a baby pig in the head.
They did. That's a
Yeah.
real baby pig being shot in the head. That really happened.
Now,
That guy, that actor, killed a pig on camera. A
that's
baby pig.
horrible.
That's
That is
really fucked up.
horrible.
And like, yeah, the white guys, they just kill for a lot of it. Well, sometimes to eat, yes, but a lot of the time it's kind of a bit pointless. Meanwhile, the native guys, they like, it's their way of life. It's different. It's not necessarily for enjoyment. It's for survival. So like, yeah, I think that's quite an interesting point as well. It makes you think more about. It also makes me think a lot about colonialism as well. Like these guys just kind of exploiting these because they're being exploited. They're being made into a movie. They've been forced to suffer for a film that's going to entertain people. So
Exactly.
yeah,
I'll be honest, Craig. I'm kind of wanting to go back to being a vegetarian after watching this.
I don't blame you. I really
I
don't.
might do it. I think I might do it. I can't. Yeah, I can't.
I did have some notes, by the way, about the film that I thought, well, it's done well, it's made well, it makes sense, it's
It is
logical. 'Cause some of the
actually.
films we've watched,
It's probably. I don't want to overdo it, but like I think this is an excellently made film. Like it's exactly
yeah,
what it needs to be. It's pretty perfect for what it's meant to be. It's just not very fun. Like
no,
this is the thing. Most horror films are fun. This one's not fun.
yeah, this one's quite serious.
Mm.
I was thinking like there were points that I thought things could have been done a bit differently, or like my expectations were a bit confused, I guess. Like, oh crap, what was I going to say? I just looked at my notes and I've lost it. I was thinking it. They could have just done the whole thing in the jungle, like following one guy with his two guides. Because I did feel that it was a bit premature when they found the footage and just left and went to New York. And I thought, okay, it's going to become a very different film now. And then we just start looking at the found footage.
But I think that's the thing, this is why it's obvious that they're trying to say something really big. Maybe so big that they don't... Because you feel there's like a bit of a contradiction in the message, but it's so important to the filmmakers, to the writers, that we get to see Western, the people in the West that are sort of in charge of, the media and stuff. We need to see that sort of perspective. And
yeah, but he didn't have to commit the shit to get that point across.
No, absolutely. I'm just talking about going back to New York. Like, I don't mind the whole point. I don't mind the choice to go back and see snippets of Western life interweaved with it, because it's constantly reminding you, like, we're only a stone throw away from this, and that's what's scary about it. It's very, it's definitely holding up a mirror to society, and it's not doing it like satirically or funny like Death Race did, or that they are basically going, fuck you, fuck us all. We're awful. And maybe the reason they did kill those animals is because back then there were no rules against killing animals. For media, let's not forget, like those old westerns where a horse falls down like a big hill or a dune of sand or whatever. They really just pushed a horse down a hill. Like, that's what they used to do. So maybe they take it to that extreme in order to bring about change. I'm hoping, at least. I feel like you can read into this really sort of positively. But I'll never watch it again. It's horrible.
Yeah. No, but there are a lot of examples of that, yeah, animal cruelty. I mean, people didn't really start pushing to remove that till, I think, a bit later. Like, even in, like, we did Conan the Barbarian not long ago,
Yeah,
And there are even parts in that film where I'm pretty sure animals are being harmed.
I'm pretty
And
sure it
that's
punches a
like,
camel.
I think that was like 1986 or 4 or something. It's a few years
83.
later after this film.
It was
They're not getting
83.
dissected or anything, but
No, but you are punching a camel in the face.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. There's kind of a bit of the thing about the times, but yeah, they pushed that a bit too far. Um, yeah,
Also,
there was also, go on, after you.
I was going to say, so obviously the way they treat the tribe is like morally just disgusting. From start to finish, they set fire to a hut and make a bunch of them stay in there. They sexually assault a woman. Like, you know, they're fucking awful. These people. And there's even a bit where like after they burn like half of this tribe, they make the others, the survivors, sit on like a beach or something and watch two of them have sex.
Hmm.
And it's like, what? It is very like, and it's shot like, oh, isn't this sexy?
Yeah, and they're kind of fighting each other as well.
Yeah, it's like fighting
It's
fucking,
yeah,
and you know,
it's
I just feel like every choice, even down to the music, like I feel like every choice, it really does get like a reaction out of the watcher. Like you can't help but like I found myself constantly going, ooh, oh, like actually making noises while watching it because you know I'm being so like it's an assault on your senses.
yeah, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what to expect as we go further into these movies now. I think I might become super desensitized at the end of all this shit.
I,
I don't
I
know.
feel like I do feel like this is as bad as it's going to get. I think it's getting tamer after this.
It depends what we pick because we haven't picked all our movies yet.
No, but I refuse to watch anything on the same level. I refuse. I mean,
Yeah.
even when like these white kids that have gone out there and are doing all this awful shit. Like, okay, so they assault a woman, and then the next shot we see her shish kebabbed, and they imply in the documentary that they're making that this was something that the tribe does to their own people, and you know, but obviously we know that they must have done it, and you know they're just so fucking awful. But when they get their comeuppance, it's still really tough to watch. Like I know maybe you're meant to enjoy seeing them sort of, you know, getting their comeuppance, but for me, it was hard. Like there's a bit where one of them gets castrated,
Yeah.
and you only see
Blondie
it.
guy.
Yeah, no, you see it from a bit far. Like you're not too close to it, but it does look real. It doesn't look fake. It's scary. It's scary. It like everything just feels so visceral. It's mental. It's
It's
mental.
kind of a bit. You can't take it too seriously at points though around like towards the end where they're literally yeah, as we mentioned earlier, filming their friends being murdered because literally it looks like they're behind like a few trees or like literally just a few sticks
Hmm.
and they're not being spotted. They're just being silent as they're being slaughtered and yeah, it doesn't look very realistic in that sense. I think that kind of makes it that kind of grounds it in reality. The fact that it's a film and not real at points.
Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose so. I,
There was also
I
one.
I was going to ask you if this happened in real life. Do you think they would release the footage?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Probably
Because
there is shit like this out there. I mean, do you remember years ago when the internet just started really catching on and everyone was watching shit online, and there were like videos of like beheadings and shit like this. Now you don't see it. Well, at least I'm not looking for it anyway.
No, but it used to just
I mean,
pop up on news feeds and stuff.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I was also wondering myself, like, has anything like this happened before, where a film crew has gone somewhere to film something, and then, like, and actually they've just like been manipulating shit from the very get-go to this level.
I wouldn't be surprised. Hopefully not to this level, sure, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I did read that the filmmakers were influenced by there was something called the Red Brigade or something like this in Italy, or Red Guard, Garda Rosso or something like this, and they were like some kind of communist group. And the filmmakers didn't believe all this stuff that they did, all this terrorist shit that they were doing. They thought that some of it was staged. And apparently that was an influence on this movie as well. Like, how much of the violence do you see is real? But not real, but I think what they mean by that is not like it's fake. It's still real violence, but how much of it was like manipulated to tell a certain story, I think is what they were going for.
No, I agree. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's tough. It's a tough film to watch, man. It's a tough film to watch.
Did you hear about that?
I was just going to say, I do like how even the studio executives hadn't even been asked to watch the footage before greenlighting it. And after being shown it, they're like, okay, burn it. Okay, fair enough. This is too much.
But there's a note at the end. There's a note just before the credits. And for a second, I wasn't sure if they were referring to this film or the actual film in the film. And it says the projectorist stole a version of it and sold it. He got fined, like, what was it? He got fined, I think, like 10,000 or something, but he made like $250,000 by selling it or something, which is interesting. And by the way, there was also another note at the very beginning of the film. I don't know if you remember what it said. It was something along the lines of like keeping all the material or something. But again, I don't know if they're referring to this film, Cannibal Holocaust, or if they're referring to the film in the film.
Green Inferno.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that.
Yeah, I mean, I missed both of these, so it's hard to say, but I hope so. Sounds pretty clever. I like to think that this film is clever, because when we come to give it a rating, I'm going to give it 2 ratings. I have to split my subjective and objective opinion to give us a true review.
Fair play. I mean, there are some films you watch for specific reasons. Like, we're forcing ourselves to watch this. So, yeah, you can't always rate things the same. You can't rate this the same as a lot of other shit. So, you got to put it in its own place. You know what I was thinking though? So, remember back to when that woman is being like killed for adultery?
Yeah.
I was thinking, because she didn't look very native to me. She looked a bit European. And I was thinking at one point, could she be what was her name? Faye? Or Tina or something like that. I can't remember. She had like 2 names or something. And I was thinking, wouldn't it have been interesting if she was just being killed right in front of them, but they didn't realize it was her? And like she was one of the last survivors of the group, and like this is her being killed now.
That would have been quite good. Now we have to watch it again.
No, we don't. It's fine.
Oh man, tough film to watch. Very tough film to watch. But I think it's worth watching.
Yeah, because I don't know, like one of the things I keep saying about these films, like especially when I'm rating them, is I like to think of them like in their terms of influence. And this is quite like it's very fucked up, but it's very influential in quite a few levels.
Yeah.
Like, I think probably for starters, this film definitely put like basically set a limit. Like, okay, you can't do this shit with animals. Like, it probably made this a topic of discussion. Secondly, the found footage thing is massive. Like, especially from 20 years later, that's a huge thing. And like, I think I did read that this was an inspiration also for the Blair Witch Project.
Well, you can tell, yeah.
And also, like, just around this period of time, more so in the 70s, I think, at least from the films that we've been watching on the podcast, like, the topic of violence is always coming up. Like, is this okay? Is it okay to enjoy watching violent things? Now we don't even talk about it anymore, like in the 2020s. Like, it's just accepted part of it. It's just gonna happen. It doesn't really shock us anymore. Like, things are so much more shocking now than they were 40 years ago.
Should we give this bad boy a rating?
Yes. So I was actually thinking about this while I was watching it. And yeah, as we said a second earlier, how do you rate something like this? I mean, it's so you have the violence, but also you have something clever happening here, and
Yeah.
it's very tricky. But I will be honest. So, like, yeah, I'm not going to watch it again. But I was thinking, I don't know, man. I will probably give this, but I feel kind of sick saying it. Somewhere between 7 and an 8, even.
Yeah. Yep.
But I feel like as I'm saying the word, like I was thinking 7 earlier, but now I'm thinking more like going somewhere towards 8. But I started feeling a bit sick in my stomach as I said 8 because it just doesn't sit right because it's
This
so
is the
fucked
thing.
up.
So this is the thing, right? It's really distressing, especially the ending. It's really, really difficult to watch. But it's made excellently well. It's like a really, really well-made movie. I can see why some people thought it might be real as well with some of the effects. But did I have fun? Absolutely not. Like, not even a little bit. I did not enjoy this film at all. So I'm gonna say subjectively, where like I'm factoring in all my feelings, how much I hated it. It gets a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
However, to be objective and to just see this as a good movie, and it is a good movie, I don't think I can go higher than a 7.5, just morally speaking, but I've given it a 7.5.
I'll match you on a 7.5, but
Yeah.
on your
maybe
other
more.
rating, in terms of like kind of enjoyment and stuff, did you say 5? What did you say?
Yeah. 5.
I'll probably give it a 4 even. I'll go a bit lower because I think a lot of people will not enjoy watching this film. This film will haunt a lot of
Well,
people who watch it.
this is the thing though, like I hated all of like the visceral gore, but I really enjoyed the social commentary side of it. So I'll go right down the middle, but I didn't have fun. It was not fun. Every horror film's fun. Like I watched the new Halloween Kills movie the other week. It's not great, but it's fun. And that's all I was after, a bit of fun. This, like most horror films, it's just a bit of fun. Sometimes you get those elevated horror films that sort of take it to the next level, but this takes it to the next level, not in like, I mean, I suppose it is like, there is artistic integrity in this film, but it's just massively overshadowed by how shocking and dark the content is. Again, like, I remember doing an essay about a Serbian film at university when I was with you in the library, and I'm watching a Serbian film in the uni library, and it's like, yeah, this just I shouldn't be watching this at all in a public. I shouldn't even be watching it in general, let alone in public.
You want to watch
But
it
like,
again?
I did end up watching it again because I showed it to someone.
Want to do it for the
Someone
podcast?
No, I've had enough. I'm definitely not watching a Serbian film again. Like, I've seen that film enough times now where I'm like, I'm really definitely done with it. I can't do it for the podcast. Maybe if like all of the support from the fans rolls in and is like, come on, we want to hear you talk about a Serbian film. Maybe we could discuss doing an episode. But until then, fuck no.
Oh, I haven't seen it though.
Haven't you?
No, I haven't. I didn't even glance at the screen when you were watching it in the library. I have I remember just watching your reaction, just like horrified. I was like, oh, I'm not looking at that screen at all.
It is terrifying. But I would say Cannibal Holocaust is a better film, but I do think Serbian film is a work of art as well. But Cannibal Holocaust just feels so real, whereas Serbian film doesn't feel real. Serbian film feels like a movie. It feels showy. It feels over the top. This one, Cannibal Holocaust, there's just something so... It does feel real. I can see why it was banned. It really does feel like snuff in a lot of scenes.
Absolutely indeed. Do you want to know the actual IMDb rating?
Go on then. I'm curious. 6, I reckon.
5.8 actually. So
Ooh.
Close. Which is interesting actually. I was thinking it'd probably be lower, but I guess there are other people that kind of appreciate what they were trying to do.
It is a very good film.
The first of the list of more like list suggestions that pop up below, a Serbian film is the first one. And then, oh my God, then it's Salo. Then it's The Human Centipede. Then it's something else called Cannibal Ferox, which just looks stupid. But yes, if you're into this shit, there's plenty more.
Well,
I haven't watched Human Centipede either.
We'll definitely do some more video nasties. I've got a good one for you for the next episode, Craig, but I'll save it as a surprise.
Okay, sounds good. Shall we wrap this one up then?
Yeah, let's do it. Thanks everyone for coming out and listening to us. We are Film Shrapnel. Go check us out on all the social medias. We also, if Spotify ain't your thing, we're on like everywhere. Podbean and Apple Podcasters. I don't know what they're all called, but we're on them. We're everywhere. Yeah, Craig, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, just stay tuned for more of us watching horrific shit. Last year, we did purposely watch some terrible movies to see if they were like actually good. This year, we're doing, I guess, basically banned movies to see if they're good.
Yeah.
So video nasty. So tune in to hear us torture ourselves for once. For 1 month of the year, we do this. I guess maybe it will be a tradition. 1 month of the year, we'll torture ourselves to watch stuff that you are too afraid to watch, basically. So yeah, stay tuned for more.
And that's right.
All right. Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Film Shrapnel.